Today, we are tackling a massive developer headache. You know the exact scenario I'm talking about. You've spent months, maybe even longer, building this beautifully optimized Next.js app. The server-side rendering is incredibly crisp, your file-based routing is elegant, the images are perfectly optimized, and when you look at it on a desktop browser, it is absolutely flawless. But getting that exact same experience into a native mobile app format usually means plunging into an absolute nightmare of learning new languages, or even worse, writing entirely new code from scratch. Well, today, we're going to look at exactly how to solve that problem and ship a native Android APK in just minutes, literally without writing a single line of new code.
Because let's face it, that leads us right to the question every single web developer dreads. You just wrapped up your beautiful Next.js deployment, you're feeling great about it, and then a client or a user innocently asks, "Hey, do you have a mobile app?" Suddenly, you're not talking about your amazing product anymore. Nope, you're talking about platform problems. You're immediately stressing about Kotlin, booting up Android Studio, and dealing with Gradle configurations that honestly make even seasoned developers wince. Or maybe you're sitting there calculating the massive cost of a 6-month React Native rewrite. It just feels entirely unreasonable when you already have something that works so incredibly well on the web.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our logical roadmap for turning that dread into a shipped product today. 1. The mobile app dilemma. 2. Why PWAs fall short. 3. The one-click APK solution. 4. A step-by-step conversion guide. 5. Essential native app features. And finally, 6. Is this for you? Section 1. The mobile app dilemma. While your app runs great on a computer, we have to acknowledge that mobile is a totally different beast. It is completely valid to be proud of your desktop performance, but this quote right here really says it all. Mobile users think in apps, not tabs. When someone is on their phone, that home screen is prime real estate. Users instinctively tap icons they've already installed. Think about it. They rarely open up a mobile browser, type in a URL, and navigate to a saved bookmark. If your product doesn't have an app icon sitting right there on their home screen, you are essentially invisible to half of your potential users. Plus, without an actual APK file, you have absolutely zero discoverability on the Google Play Store, which is where millions of people are actively searching for solutions every single day. So Section 2, why PWAs fall short. Let's go ahead and debunk a common developer myth right now. On paper, progressive web apps, or PWAs, sound like the ultimate silver bullet, right? You just add a manifest, register a service worker, and boom, you're done. But in the real world, there is a tremendous amount of friction. Users routinely just ignore or swipe away those add to home screen prompts, and because a PWA isn't a native package, you still get zero default discoverability in the Play Store. Then there's the notification issue. Push notification behaviors vary wildly across different Android browsers and OS versions, making them super unreliable. And don't even get me started on those tricky offline caching bugs. They can literally leave a user staring at a broken screen that is notoriously difficult for you to debug. Ultimately, PWAs just fail to provide the genuine legitimacy and smooth user experience that a real APK delivers. Moving to Section 3, the one-click APK solution. We've talked about the problem, so let's shift gears and look at the fix. Here is the incredible secret about your Next.js app. It is already 90% of the way there. Whether you're using static site generation or server-side rendering, your app outputs HTML that runs flawlessly in a browser. And guess what? That is exactly what a native Android web view consumes. Now, you basically have two ways to do this. You could go the DIY route using wrappers like Capacitor or Cordova, but that means tying up your local machine, installing Node packages, constantly updating Android SDKs, dealing with signing certificates, and spending hours or even days just getting a baseline to work. If a build breaks, well, you're stuck deep in Stack Overflow territory. Contrast that painful reality with appofweb.com. This is a frictionless managed cloud architecture. The whole process takes under an hour, absolutely no coding is required, and if a build breaks, it's their problem, not yours. So, the crucial point is this number right here, $1,500. Let's break that down. If we estimate your developer rate at, say, $75 an hour, and it takes you 20 hours to set up the DIY environment, debug those awful Gradle configurations, and manage your signing key stores, that is $1,500 of massive, hidden, lost developer time. A managed service allows you to completely bypass that headache and keep your focus entirely on what actually matters, building your product. Section 4, Step-by-Step Conversion Guide. Let's prove exactly how fast this pipeline really is. We'll do a really brisk, practical walkthrough here. Step 1 is the preparation phase. Your Next.js app needs to be live on a public URL, something like Vercel or Netlify, A localhost URL just isn't going to cut it. Second, and I can't stress this enough, this is absolutely critical. You must test your site in a 390-pixel mobile viewport using Chrome DevTools. Layout quirks that you barely notice on a giant desktop monitor will be glaringly obvious inside a narrow mobile web view. Third, you need to verify your dynamic routing behaviors because WebView apps follow links just a tiny bit differently than standard browsers. Finally, confirm each HTTPS is active. Android strictly enforces encrypted connections for web views, so that's non-negotiable. Once you're prepped, the execution is just totally frictionless. You simply submit your Next.js URL to appofweb.com. Next, you lock in your package name. It usually looks something like com.yourcompany.appname. Now, warning here, choose this thoughtfully. Once it is published to the Play Store, it is permanently locked in. If you want to change it later, you're starting a brand new app listing from scratch. After that, you define your visual identity, upload your icon, pick your brand colors, and finally, you just trigger the build, download your shiny new APK. Which brings us to Section 5, Essential Native App Features. This is how you take it from a basic wrapper to a premium experience.
And this brilliantly illustrates what elevates your app. These are the configurations users just intuitively expect from an Android device. Adding bottom navigation tabs gives users that natural, one-handed native feel. A splash screen is absolutely vital because it completely hides that awkward white loading flash while your Next.js bundle initializes in the background. Enabling pull to refresh, that's just a core user expectation for any dynamic feed nowadays. And having a custom no internet screen maintains your branded trust when a user drops connectivity, which is way better than showing them a raw, ugly browser error page.
But beyond the basics, you also get access to incredibly powerful add-ons. Push notifications are consistently among the highest ROI features for bringing users back into your app. You've got built-in share and rate prompts to encourage viral word-of-mouth growth and bump up your Play Store ranking. But honestly, perhaps the most amazing feature is Play Store Sync. When you push an update to your Next.js site online, those changes appear in the mobile app instantly. You literally do not need to submit a new version to the Play Store for approval. It just automatically loads your live deployment. It's a real game changer.
Finally, Section 6. Is this for you? Let's impartially evaluate if this fits your specific needs.
Because while this is amazing, it's about picking the right tool for the job. This WebView wrapper architecture is an incredibly strong match for the broad middle of the app market. So if you are running SaaS tools, e-commerce storefronts, booking systems, or content platforms, and you need a mobile deployment in days, not months, this is exactly for you. However, you should definitely consider a different approach if your app requires deep access to device hardware. So if you're building something with heavy Bluetooth integration, real-time 3D games, or sophisticated local database background syncing, this particular method isn't the right fit. But for the vast majority of web products out there, this is the ultimate shortcut. As founders and developers, you can focus entirely on refining your Next.js product, while a managed service handles all the complex platform deployment heavy lifting. So if you're ready to make the leap effortlessly, visit appofweb.com and convert your website to mobile app today.
I'll leave you with this final thought. Your Next.js app is already polished, it's fast, it is ready to go. The gap between where your code is right now and a fully published Play Store app is so much smaller than you ever thought. So your web app is ready. Are you going to leave your mobile users waiting? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you on the next one.